For decades, many immigrants have lived on the margins in this country. As low-wage workers in healthcare, hospitality, commercial food, and farming, they may struggle for safe working conditions and fair wages despite being essential contributors to the community. Whether they have legal status or not, they may face threats of intimidation and deportation. Many are fleeing horrible living conditions in their home countries. These siblings endure arduous journeys to the US-Mexico border, where they seek asylum in hopes of reuniting with family members. When Guatemalan asylum seeker Hermelindo Chekok faced an immigration hearing that threatened deportation and permanent separation from his 6-year-old son, CLUE made his struggle visible. When coronavirus threatened unprecedented insecurity for undocumented immigrant workers, CLUE worked in coalition across beliefs and boundaries to advocate for access to government assistance, food, clothing, shelter, rent money, and more. As disease began to ravage ICE detention centers in Otay Mesa and Adelanto, CLUE activated its partnerships with human rights groups advocating for humanitarian release of the most vulnerable detained immigrants, as well as its partnerships with congregations across Southern California to find shelter so they could be released. Faith calls us to welcome the stranger, to struggle with our immigrant siblings so we all live in a more sacred and just society. As a supporter of CLUE, you help educate our immigrant siblings on their rights at home and in their workplaces. You help to gain legal status for undocumented youth and families. You enable outreach that provides shelter and resources for immigrants being released from ICE detention. And you advocate locally and at the state level for measures that let immigrants work and worship without police harassment. Thank you for making this work possible.